The tap at the door was louder than usual that evening, and Benjamin nearly ignored it. Life had been a relentless chain of setbacks recently, and he wasn't prepared for more grim news. A widowed single father, he toiled daily mending cars in a modest garage, his nights consumed by fretting over bills stacked higher than his son's toy bricks. When he finally opened the door, a young woman stood there, warm smile, suitcase in hand, her eyes blending unease with gentle resolve. She introduced herself as Hannah, explaining she needed a room to lease while attending the nearby university. Benjamin had an unused room, his late wife's art haven, empty and gathering cobwebs. He hesitated, but the prospect of extra income and a helping hand nudged him to let her in. He didn't realize that by welcoming her, he was entering a tale that would transform his life forever. What he couldn't have foreseen was that this woman, so unassuming in appearance, held a secret linking her to a realm of vast wealth and power, far beyond anything he'd ever encountered. Her presence hinted at a story untold, one that would soon intertwine their lives in ways he could never imagine. Benjamin's days were routine. Wake early, prepare breakfast for his 8-year-old son, Oliver, drop him at school, head to the garage, return late, and strive to be both parents. Hannah swiftly wove herself into their rhythm, aiding Oliver with schoolwork, cooking meals when Benjamin was delayed at work, even mending the creaky window he'd meant to fix for months. She seemed down to earth, unlike the entitled rich students Benjamin sometimes noticed in town. She wore simple attire, carried a tattered backpack, and never boasted. Yet her eyes, wise beyond her years, suggested she bore a deeper burden than she shared. Her quiet strength began to feel like a steady anchor in their chaotic routine, offering a glimmer of stability. Benjamin, though thankful, kept his guard up. He didn't want to depend on anyone, having lost too much already. But gradually, Hannah's warmth began to chip away at his defenses. One night, as they sat at the dinner table chuckling at Oliver's goofy mimicry, Benjamin found himself grinning in a way he hadn't in years. He couldn't pinpoint why, but Hannah's presence made the burdens feel lighter, as if hope was quietly creeping back into his heart. Yet the struggles persisted. Benjamin's landlord hiked the rent, threatening eviction if payments lagged. The garage where he worked was closing, leaving him desperate for income. He shielded these woes from Oliver, but Hannah saw the worry etching deeper lines on his face, the way his hands shook, opening another overdue notice. One evening, she softly offered, "Maybe I can assist." Benjamin cut her off brusquely, his pride the last thing he clung to, refusing charity from a student. Her offer lingered, a quiet promise of support he wasn't ready to accept. Hannah nodded silently, though her heart ached for him. She knew she could resolve his financial woes instantly, but revealing her true identity risked altering their bond. She didn't want Benjamin to view her as a wealthy savior. She wanted him to see her as Hannah, the woman who found a home in his modest house, who admired his resilience as a father, who quietly yearned to ease his pain. Her secret weighed heavy, a truth that could either save or shatter the trust they'd built. The tipping point came on a rainy afternoon. Benjamin was late fetching Oliver after a failed job interview, finding him shivering outside school, clutching his backpack. Hannah was already there, shielding him with her umbrella, waiting calmly. Benjamin's heart plummeted, feeling he was failing as a father. That night, as Oliver slept, Benjamin sat at the kitchen table, face in hands. Hannah entered, setting a warm tea before him. For once, his walls crumbled. He confessed how tough it was to keep going, how terrified he was of losing their only home. Hannah listened, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. Then softly she said, "You don't have to face this alone." Her words carried a depth that pierced his guarded heart, offering a lifeline in his despair. Benjamin didn't grasp the weight of her words until the next week. A sleek black car arrived, and a man in a costly suit stepped out. Benjamin thought it was the landlord come to evict them, but when Hannah appeared, the man bowed and called her Miss Thompson. Benjamin froze. Thompson, the name of the billionaire owning half the city. In that instant, the truth unraveled. Hannah was his daughter, heir to a fortune beyond Benjamin's imagination. His first instinct was anger, anger that she'd hidden her identity, pretended to be ordinary. But her face showed no deceit, only fear of losing the family she'd chosen. Hannah admitted she'd fled a stifling life of wealth and expectations, craving genuine bonds untainted by money. In Benjamin and Oliver, she'd found love, warmth, and belonging. Benjamin wrestled with his feelings, part of him wanting to push her away, wary of her world, too stubborn to accept aid. But the father in him, seeing Oliver light up around Hannah, couldn't deny the truth. She wasn't just a billionaire's heir. She was Hannah, who held his son's hand in the rain, brought laughter back to their home, and reminded him hope wasn't gone. In the end, Benjamin chose to trust their bond. Hannah stayed, not as a tenant, but as family. With her influence, Benjamin secured work, running his own garage with her father's quiet backing. But more precious was what money couldn't buy: trust, companionship, and a future where Oliver would grow knowing unexpected people could become family. The story didn't end in wealth or splendor. It ended with 3 people at a worn kitchen table, sharing a simple meal, laughing together. Because true wealth lies not in money, but in the hearts we welcome. Their bond, forged through shared struggles, became a testament to the power of human connection, proving that even in the darkest times, kindness can light the way to a brighter future.